we should be going live momentarily. Hopefully. We'll be seeing momentarily, of course. It's flickering to live. And we are live. Hello, everyone.
Alive! It's alive!
Yeah, it's me, and it's also CyberneticPinkeye, aka Griffin.
As always.
Pretty much as always at this point. Thank you, by the way, for being a steady companion while I go live on streaming.
But of course, I wouldn't miss it.
Well, I mean, you might someday. Oh god, hello. And there is, I guess, a new follower.
Oh.
It looks like. Oh, I'm being hosted by someone. Hello.
Well.
That's a little bit different. Well, that was completely unexpected right off the bat. Hello. Okay. But yes, today we are going to be going back to the, and there is someone following. Hello. Goodness, there's something going on with that. Well, that's fine. It seems to be okay. It's just being a little weird, I guess. Yeah, anyway. I'm trying to say hello and you guys are all doing such nice things like following me and hosting me. So, oh gosh, I'm so pleased. I'm happy to see all of you guys. So yes, officially after last week when we did the anniversary stream of when I first started posting content to my channel, we have now kicked off officially weekly streaming. So around this time, roughly each week on Monday, I am planning to be streaming. So if you can attend, I look forward to seeing you there. Today is probably going to be a little bit more chill and laid back. The game that I have in mind is actually a visual novel, which I'm going to be having Griffin's help with doing the voice acting and all of that stuff with.
Why is it the only time I'm brought into these things is to be someone's daddy or husbando?
Oh dear. It looks like it's lagging already.
Oh, joy.
So, I'm gonna have to actually kill the screen share for you.
Oh, well.
Alright, stop sharing my screen. So you'll have to do it possibly through the stream?
I mean, that'll cause a delay.
That'll cause a bit of a delay, yes. So, maybe I'll just take over the voice acting.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the reason why it was doing that, Mare, was because I was, screen sharing with Griffin behind the scenes so that he could actually see the game, but sadly it does not look like that's going to be an option for while I'm doing this live.
Is the lag any better now?
Well, at the moment it's not lagging, so. It's not just men, says Discombobulate. It's not just men. Not all men. Oh god, okay. I'm gonna have to go punch myself in the mouth for that one.
I was gonna say, like, go clean yourself off after this.
Uh-huh.
Because you're dirty.
Wow. Bitch. Yeah, Screen Share loves to fuck with the stream, and I'm so pleased that we're getting off to that start. I was hoping that because it wasn't like, it was
Thanks, Twitch.
Yay. Alright. Yeah, I'm glad. Okay. There's still a little bit of a delay now, which makes it even better. Awesome. No, it's because things... Anyway.
Yes.
It's because things. Anyway, so I'm going to turn on the audio for the game, which now Griffin is not going to have hanging over his head.
Yes.
So, can you guys hear me? And what?
I'm just waiting for it to load on my end. For the uninitiated, I live in a cabin in the middle of the woods where the only internet I can get is that of the shittiest caliber. So I'm currently waiting for the Twitch feed to load.
Uh-huh. Well, it's not going to show it visually on screen just yet. I don't have it currently popped up. I just turned on the audio.
Yeah, but I mean, even like your background.
Right. Well, I think don't worry about loading it up then. You can just co-commentate with me while I play through this. How's that sound?
I suppose that's fair. It seems a little... I'm sorry to leave you alone, visually in this case.
You're leaving me alone, Griffin. How could you?
Blame Verizon.
I do blame Verizon for many things. Anyway, so the only way that I could... Funny story with this, by the way. The only way that I can actually get this to work, and the reason why you're currently seeing my desktop on the bottom here, or a little bit of that anyway, is because, that was weird. It decided to flicker in and out of existence. So,
Oh, good.
yeah. Oh, maybe it's because I brought up the audio. Anyway. Sorry. I'm so fixated on the fucking technical issues because there's always technical difficulties whenever streaming happens. Anyway.
Yes, it's us.
Yeah, well, it tends to happen that way. Anyway, I was gonna say, speaking of technical difficulties, this game does not like to be picked up by OBS. It does not like to be visually picked up. It does not like to be captured in any way. And so earlier attempts to actually get it to be recognized by OBS ended up completely failing. The only way that I can get it to be recognized is if I actually screen share the entire monitor first. Hello, Pinger. Welcome.
Yeah.
It is supposed to be pretty soft. I just mostly don't want it to be overpowering myself. I can turn it up a little, I suppose.
Yes, especially since I'm no longer hearing it.
Yeah. Turn a few things around.
Yes. And while you're getting that set up, before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Smieska, an artist friend of mine who's turning 31 today. So if you haven't seen any of her work, check her out on YouTube, on Tumblr. You can find her at Smieska or her dedicated art blog, Smieska Draws. Sorry to take this opportunity to, well, mass advertise, but she's a good friend of mine. She does a lot of amazing work, including the visuals for a project I did back in, that we both worked hard on back in 2016, called The Seeds Just Stick to You, if you want to see an example of her animatic work. So go ahead and check her out if you can. It's her birthday today.
Yes, she is a fantastic artist, and I remember seeing that and being really impressed, and everything that I've seen from her ever since you first introduced the two of us has been amazing, and I've always been very impressed with that stuff. I mean, very, very impressed. And if you haven't seen The Seeds Just Stick to You, then that's something worth going to check out at some point.
Yes.
All right. Well,
happy
you're
birthday
welcome.
to Smieska.
Yes. Yes, and thank you for spelling that out in the chat, Merity. That's how her name is spelled, Smieska.
Yes.
For those of you who are interested in following her around the internet.
Yeah.
And, well, I'm happy to be streaming for you, Anti-Hacker BG. I'm happy to be streaming for everyone. So, with all of this, I hope you guys don't mind if I now hop into the game. I'm going to be hopefully keeping track of everything while I'm going here, but yeah. So, Hustle Cat is actually a really nice visual novel sort of game. The writing is, again, very much my speed, and of course it involves cats, so naturally, you know, it's going to be among my favorite games. I have actually played through this entire thing multiple times, which is why you're seeing various portraits in this cup. It actually just starts off with a blank swirl, and as you go through various paths, different characters will appear. So, yeah, that is how you spell Smieska, so good job, Merity. Anyway, I'm going to start a new game.
Yes.
So one of the nice things also about this game, you don't get to actually pick the name, but you can actually choose what pronouns they go by. So you can make it masculine, feminine, or you can go with a non-binary pronoun with them/they. You can also change this mid-game if you like, so it's again, fairly inclusive. I'm going to go with she/her. The rest of these things we can't actually choose. We can, however, pick the photo. They offer a few different varieties of longer hair versus shorter hair, and at least a few different skin tones. But I'm going to go with this variation, and I'm going to go, this is me. Game. Oh, it's Greg's List.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. I think I fell asleep on the couch again. This game will also randomly crash, by the way, so that might be an experience through all of this.
Oh, joy.
Little lasers of sunlight are zapping right onto my face from the middle of the curtains. I think they've been specifically aimed to burn out my eyes. I had this weird dream about a goth band. Huh. What is it, like noon? Jeez. Not my fault.
Mm-hmm.
The couch pulls you in like you're drowning in bread dough. My spine pops in loud protest as I swim free from my bread dough cushion trap.
I mean, mood, as the children say.
I'm gonna have to apologize to Aunt Wendy. I'm probably leaving a dent in the shape of my ass in the cushions. I'll probably have to apologize for a couple of things, actually. You may notice there's quite a bit of trash around here, a little bit of clutter. Okay, I know this looks bad, but it's almost not even my fault. I can't help that clutter is naturally drawn into my gravitational pull. Honestly, it makes me feel a little more comfortable, you know? Like, I really live here instead of just like I'm couch surfing at my aunt's. Or like I'm living in a furniture catalog. Yeah, I know that feeling too. I've been in places like that, and it's just like, I don't feel like anyone lives here. I feel like I'm just temporarily, like, standing in a hotel.
I mean,
Anyway.
Nothing says comfort like living in a copy of Better Homes and Gardens.
I mean, it can be nice, but the aesthetic will be nice, but there's something about having a little bit of clutter that makes something feel a little more lived in, you know? Anyway.
$10 says most people here don't even know what Better Homes and Gardens is.
God. Don't be condescending now. I know, I ask the impossible.
I just feel old.
Yes. Not that I'm ungrateful. Aunt Wendy is awesome to let me use her apartment while she's away. She helped talk Mom and Dad into letting me come all the way out to the city, too. She's pretty cool. I hear rustling behind me like fingernails on cardboard. It makes me pause for a second, but I jump up as I realize what it is. Hey, Mochi! Knock it off! Mochi, the living trash bag disguised as a cat, stares up indignantly from the inside of a pizza box. He's trying to scrape up some dried cheese off the bottom again. Well, that's what you get for leaving pizza boxes around.
I mean,
His little mushed-up face is probably trying to stare me down, but it's kind of hard to tell where he's looking with those crossed eyes. Mochi? Meow.
Also, can I just say I love the protagonist's t-shirt? I mean, it looks like something out of TKO.
Oh, yes. Oh, you. I clap my hands a few times to break the stalemate. He jumps at the sound, then waddles back to the bedroom in defeat. I guess since I'm up too, I might as well get to whatever I'm gonna do today. I shuffle to the curtains and throw them open. My laptop is still sitting open on the coffee table. Oh yeah, job searching, I guess. That's what I was gonna do. I plop back down on the couch, already sinking back into the cushions, and take a look. Jeez, there's so many tabs here. Which one did I leave Greg's List open in again? Not that one. This one? Or this one? Maybe this one? Nah, that's just another cat video. TKO it's actually TEEKO. And it's a game in the Jackbox Party Pack, I believe, number 3. And it's a complicated sort of game where you design t-shirts with both art designs and slogans that the members of the game end up writing and coming up with towards the beginning. People then take those designs and take those slogans and pair them together on a shirt, and then they put that against each other, and then they run through a gauntlet of being compared to one another and people voting for which one they like. It's actually pretty fun, and one of the nice things at the end of it is that you can actually buy the shirts that appear in the game. Like, if they were really funny or if they were something that you actually like, they actually offer you a store link of any of the t-shirts that were made during that game, so if there's one that you really and truly want to immortalize, that's an option.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it's another way to milk money out of people who are playing your game, but, you know, what can I say?
I mean...
So, just another cat video, sounds about right. I was up all night watching Jelly Donut, the cat who balances donuts on her head. I have no idea how you get a cat to do something like that. You can do it. It takes training. Guess that's why Mochi and I aren't internet famous. I find the tab and start scrolling through the listings again. It's not like anything new has gone up since yesterday, I bet. Sidewalk cleaner intern, college credit only. Internet comments section proofreader. I mean, that sounds like something we need, but...
I mean...
Fundraiser street team intern, unpaid. Yeah, it's been like this all month. Can you really blame me for giving up and watching cat videos? No. I know this kind of thing is supposed to take time, but try telling that to Mom, Dad, or my savings. Any of those could send me back home at any time. And I really have to get this done before Aunt Wendy gets back. Just thinking about writing another cover letter is making my will to exist erode away. I'm gonna go for a walk. When I got here, I expected to be buried in noise from the city's traffic and crowds, but it's actually pretty quiet. The apartment is on a street side, far from the main street bustle. From here, the noises of the city are just a distant hum. It's comforting, like the buzz of an old tube TV. Boy, that's a dated reference in itself.
I mean...
I'd have to walk like 20 minutes to get to the train from here, but I rarely leave the neighborhood, so it doesn't really matter. Still living a small town life in the city, I guess. Whatever. I get plenty of adventure in this neighborhood. I can just set out in any direction and find something new, even if I've been down that way before. Sure, I get lost a lot too, but that's half the fun, right? I turn a corner at the end of the block and head up a tiny side street I haven't tried yet. Neatly arranged trash cans line the sides of the road. I think I'm behind some stores right now. I'm expecting a dead end, but the road suddenly curves to the right. It looks too narrow for cars, but the faded white lines marking the middle seem to claim some brave drivers could try their luck. I decide to follow the sharp bend in the road. After I pass this tall partition, I'm surprised by what I see. A cat's paw. A squat 3-story building, painted so ostentatiously bright it'd be impossible to miss, sits in front of me. I mean, it's pretty bright. I've seen brighter, but, well, it's not too bad.
Near brighter.
Yeah, I noticed that while I was out there.
Yeah.
Ah, gosh. I mean, I like this kind of design, and one of the things you want to do is make your building stand out, so... A cat's paw? Is this a pet store or something? Maybe I can get a dumb toy for a dumb Mochi. Stop shitting on your cat!
Well, I mean, that's pretty much the mood of any actual cat owner.
True. I mean, can confirm. Anyway, as I walk closer to the front doors of the building, I don't see the aisles of pet food I expected from the broad store windows. Instead, it looks like there are couches and tables in neatly arranged rows. Okay, so you can see that there are big-ass windows. How the fuck do you not see what's inside as you approach?
I mean...
I guess technically...
and protagonist powers.
I suppose. Oh, so this is one of those pretentious restaurants with a pithy nonsense name, huh? I can feel my interest deflate and sink into my stomach. Just as I'm about to turn and continue walking, I notice a sign in the window that says, that declares, "Now hiring! Inquire within." I'm hardly dressed for a job inquiry, but I may as well give it a shot, right?
I mean...
I look to my right.
Ventured, nothing gained.
True. And, I mean, again, at the very least, working at a restaurant, there are worse things, and having some sort of income is better than none. I look to my right as I walk up to the door and see a little orange and white cat lying belly up, sunning itself against the window. It doesn't seem terribly sanitary to have a cat in a restaurant, but whatever. I like cats. Do you? Bells tinkle delicately as I tug on the handle. The heavy door creaks open. Why would it be heavy? This place is so classy it feels fake. It looks like a game board exploded in here. Isn't that what the palace was like in Wonderland? Like with the cards and stuff? Is a purple cat gonna start talking to me? Though none of them are purple, boy, are there a lot of cats. I think I can count at least 8 right off the bat. They're all over the place, romping around the floor, sleeping on some of the built-in structures in the walls. I've barely had time to take it all in when I hear a voice call out to me. So, I don't think we're going to be able to have you do the voice acting with delay.
Unfortunately.
Welcome. Please sit wherever you'd like. I shuffle in place for a moment, at first unsure of where the voice came from, then of whether I want to sit or if I want to keep this strictly business. Actually, I start as the source of the voice looms into view. He appears suddenly from the second story landing and covers the length of the floor at a few long strides. So he told.
Husbando appears.
Yeah, husbando number 1 makes an appearance, and he tall. He is super tall, actually.
I mean, name me a game without a tall husbando.
I mean, a dating sim? Probably. Actually, come to think of it, any video game usually has at least one. Oh my god, there's a cat that's hanging off the edge! Oh no, in the upper left-hand corner.
Hang in there, baby.
Griffin? Don't be mean.
Again, you asked the impossible.
I do not ask the impossible. Oh, God. You see what I have to deal with, everyone? Anyway. Mm-hmm. You look confused. Is this your first time here? Would you like me to explain a bit how the cafe works? I'll be happy to give you a tour. His eyes are gentle. He's one of those people who smiles with his entire body. It's positively infectious. I think this is a choice moment. So I'm trying to think who I want to potentially romance, because obviously in a game like this, it is a dating sim, and you have to think about, even from your first few choices, you know, whether or not you're going to be romancing particular people. Now, obviously on your first playthrough, you're not going to know who all the characters are. But it's good. That's one of those nice things, is that it becomes a much more authentic playthrough because you get drawn to one particular character over others, and your personality often ends up being reflected in your choices regardless. So.
I mean, I recall who we pursued the last time you showed this game to me.
Mm-hmm. And I'd be tempted to do that again, but I think both for your sanity as well as for the sake of this stream, I'll try something a little bit different.
Yeah,
anyway.
Keep it fresh.
Yeah. So, oh, I know one that might be relevant to all of this. Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, yeah, that sounds great. Oh, that's great. He bounds closer and towers over me in both stature and exuberance. It's a little strange that someone like this is working here, because he's more like a big sheepdog puppy than what I'd think of as a cat person. I was just thinking the same thing. My name's Landry. Just interrupt if you have any questions. You got it, Landry. I'm Avery. Well, Avery, to start, all of our cats are rescued strays. The owner brings them in for care and socialization. They seem really happy. Having strangers around doesn't seem to bother them at all. We do everything we can to make them comfortable. Many of them are up for adoption. We have good match rate for our fosters. Over there is a wall of photos of some of our cats that have found happy homes. Oh, and proceeds for the cafe help pay for their care. The food is really good too. Our chef is amazing. I recommend the key lime pie personally.
Oh, goddamn. I could go for some key lime pie right about now.
I could go for some pie, period, especially after some of the stuff we were watching last night. Baking show related stuff, guys.
Yeah. One of the things we frequently watch, if it's not the British Bake Off, it's something else.
Something else being, like, there's Zumbo's Just Desserts, which we've also watched a couple of times, actually. And, there is, unfortunately, some other baking shows that we've attempted watching.
We won't mention them by name. You know,
well, there's one in particular.
Like, you name it too much, it re-enters this realm of reality.
But it already got a second season.
We don't acknowledge that. We don't.
The basic premise of this particular program is that basically it takes amateurs and has them compete in a contest to try and bake something where they emulate a professional baker. But the thing is, they're amateurs. They start off that way. They actually are not even people who, like, amateurs that have experience. They're people who literally do not have any experience whatsoever with baking. Like, this might even be among their first few times ever baking something. Yeah. And they go on this show only to be made fun of by the judges, and particularly the host, to be made to have to deal with an obnoxious host who is, I'm sorry, but way over the top. They literally weaponize her obnoxiousness. And this, like, that in itself is bad enough. But there are instances of them, like, first of all, they give them unrealistic baking times. They give them, like, extremely limited baking times, as a matter of fact, so that it's guaranteed that it's going to be sloppy and ridiculous and look stupid. Because they're there to make fun of the contestants. For daring the contestants, for how dare they come on a show to try and win any kind of money. Like, how dare they try to bake something or have fun with any of this. No. And then they start the timer while the people are not even at their stations, and they, in other instances, have made fun of people for having mobility issues. Mm-hmm. Like, in one particular instance, there was this old grandma lady who was trying to make it to various places, and the host kept commenting on it. Like, doesn't she know she's supposed to move? Move it! And, like, okay, you can see she's trying. Anyway, this sidetrack brought to you by Lorelei Rage.
Mm-hmm. And my hunger.
Yes. Well, we already knew you were thirsty.
Listen, I've got my tea for that.
Mm-hmm. That all sounds really great. I bet you're really happy working here. Well, it's a lot of work, but I'd like to think it's all worth it. Actually, I saw you guys are hiring right now. Oh! His surprise freezes him for a split second. His broad smile immediately creeps back, but it's enough to pique my curiosity. We are. Did my explanation sell you that quickly? I
mean,
there are a couple of different options, but I've already decided who I'm going to be. Well, you know what? Actually, on second thought, we may as well go for Landry. It seems like an easy setup anyway, and I do actually like his path, and it's interesting. So, hey folks, are you still out there watching? I know a visual novel is perhaps less engaging some of the other things that we've got going on.
But again, it's something nice and chill to relax to.
Hopefully, anyway. So, you seem really fun to work with. Alright. Oh my god, she has cat face.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem really fun to work with. I wouldn't mind spending more time here. Really, I wouldn't mind a cute face like that greeting me every morning. Good thing I didn't say that part out loud. Well, it's not all just having fun and playing with cats, you know. There's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not what I mean. Any job becomes awesome when you've got a work buddy. Well, that's true.
Say that.
It does make things go more quickly. We have all different types of people working here. You seem nice, so I bet you'd get along with them pretty well. Before we get ahead of ourselves, you should really talk to the owner. He's the one that would make that decision. He's right upstairs, so I'll see if he's available to meet you now. Okay, sure. Great. Have a seat here, then. Landry leads me to a seat on the plush couch that spans the length of the wall. I oblige, careful not to look too casual. I'm here on business, after all. Do you like coffee? Would you like some? That would be great, thank you. Light and extra sweet, please. He disappears through an open archway around the corner. A Siamese cat timidly peers at him as he goes, then at me with a wide-eyed, worried look. I give it a knock. That was the cat. You'll see it pop up on the screen eventually. That was the sound of the cat making a face. Anyway. I give it an awkward smile and nod before I realize I'm treating a cat like a stranger in an elevator. Yeah, probably not a good idea. Landry reappears a moment later, carefully balancing a black and white saucer, which in turn balances a stout white ceramic mug. The tiny creamer almost disappears in his large hands. He gingerly places them in front of me, careful not to spill anything from either. I put a little bit of milk and sugar in there for you, but I brought some more if you don't like it. Oh no, it looks perfect, thank you. I'm glad to hear it. I think we drink our coffee the same way then, because I made it the way I like it.
Mm-hmm.
You have excellent taste. I take a careful sip of the coffee as I watch Landry take his long strides into the back of the cafe. He really covers a lot of ground. He's not even moving that quickly. Hey, Axel! I have not been streaming for that long, actually. Well, maybe about half an hour or so. Somewhere in that range. And yes, this game is interesting. I mean, obviously we have to get through the intro portion where it introduces the characters and the concepts, but yeah, it's a cat cafe. And I actually really like the concept. I kind of wish that there was one near me. Unfortunately, I don't think the concept of the cat cafe could even fucking exist out where I am.
I mean, I could validate that because I know where you are, but I don't want to give anything away.
I think many people do all kind of already know where I am, but that's fine anyway. But yes, it's not likely to happen out in this place. I mean, I could try founding one, but I wouldn't even know where to begin, and God knows I don't have the energy to run a cat cafe, so...
Yeah, there's a lot of paperwork that goes into that, too, which is... I mean, it surprises me how they're able to get all the licensing together in order to actually have these cats up for adoption.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing, though, like... It's an excellent way of doing things. I mean, I know a lot of cat cafes that do that, too. They foster the cats so that they can then, in turn, be adopted by anyone who comes on by. Yes. I am joined by CyberneticPinkeye, a.k.a. Griffin.
How's it going, Axel?
It could use a little more milk, though, talking about the coffee again. It's CyberneticPinkeye. He could use a little more milk, though.
I mean, I suppose I was in need of more wet ingredients.
Well, we could always milk this for all that it's worth.
Listen.
I guess I'm not good at being an adult yet. I don't like it that it still tastes like coffee. I pour what should be a little splash of extra milk, but half the creamer's worth spills in. It almost overflows. I dive forward and gulp a mouthful from the side before I dare to lift the mug and drink like a civilized person. Aha, yes, the infamous Griffin.
I was about to say, I've risen to the level of infamy now.
Uh-huh. Wait, what did you do? What did you blow up now?
Listen, I refuse to answer on the grounds that it might incriminate me, first of all.
Excuse you.
Thankfully, I happen to know a good, well, decent lawyer. Well,
decent lawyer.
Has a degree, anyway.
Uh-huh. Anyway, stop blowing things up. I've told you need to stop.
Listen, like, when the need disappears, so will the instances, I suppose.
And what are you blowing up, huh? Is it like little remote things in the middle of nowhere, or is it places where there are people who could get hurt?
As I said, I refuse to answer on the grounds that it might incriminate me.
And that's why you're infamous. Anyway. This cat's looking at me like it's offended by what I just did. What? Like a cat knows anything about coffee. Landry's gone long enough for me to nearly finish the mug. Just long enough for me to wonder where everybody else is. The Siamese cat's still staring at me. I'm just gonna ignore it and focus on my drink. Finally, Landry emerges from the back of the cafe, but he's not alone. Now, ideally, I would have Griffin voice this dude. Unfortunately, I have no idea when you're actually going to see this pop up even on screen.
Yeah, I just saw the Siamese cat mew.
Uh-huh. This is Graves, the owner of the cafe. Graves, this is Avery. And he's an extra little fuck. If the music doesn't tip you off, the outfit should.
I mean...
He looks like he should own a bookstore that insists it sells tomes, not books. Maybe like he's about to try and sell you a crystal that'll balance your chakras. Or maybe this is what the owners of cat cafes look like? I've never seen... And of course it's showing off his eyes. His eyes? They're two different colors. I can't focus on both of them at the same time. Which one am I supposed to look at? You know, I actually find that I'm usually only looking in one eye at one time. Like, I don't know how people manage to look in both eyes at the same time.
With skill and determination.
Yes. Hi, Kat. Yeah, I could share screens, but the problem is that I'm also streaming, and it seems to have a pretty intense impact on the actual stream itself.
Yeah.
That's been the problem, unfortunately. Yes, you might recognize this game. It's good game. I love this game. I don't know why I'm speaking with accent now, apparently. Accent is apparently a thing I'm doing.
I
It's
mean,
not
you
even
are
a...
a voice actor.
I mean, arguably.
Not so much arguably, so much as factually.
Perhaps. But I haven't exactly done a lot of things, nor a wide variety of voice acting. Anyway, my attention is swallowed by his icy blue eye. Is he wearing a contact to complete his dark Renaissance look? I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this. Eh? He had the eye of a vulture, a pale blue eye with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold, and so by degrees, very gradually. I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever. Excuse me? Telltale Heart, you were looking at my eye. Kids, didn't you read that in high school? Well, yeah, but... Iridius heterochromia. It's more common in cats than humans. He's got this look like he knows that he just told a great joke, but there's no punchline anywhere I can see. I am you again? Oh. Cat is now heavy. Well, okay. Cat is now heavy. Catriel, I guess so. But that doesn't make sense because I'm actually a cat and you're a bunny.
See, now I've got the horrifying image in my head of Cat as the Heavy from TF2.
Yes.
With, like, bunnies on her shoulders while wielding a massive minigun.
That's also shaped like a bunny.
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Okay. What a weirdo. I'm not sure I want to work for a guy like this. Yes, you do. Then again, he hired someone as nice as Landry, so he's got at least some good taste hidden in there. So I will say this. Graves here would absolutely be my type. Unfortunately, the main character is like 18.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing that out for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Would I need to know that to get a job here? I just gave away the answer, so I'll let that one slide.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me. We'll talk on the second floor. Before he finishes the sentence, he's already 3 steps up the stairs to the balcony. I shake my head a little and follow him. After all, I really need a job. We make our way up to the second floor balcony, which, except for us, is only occupied by those amazing-looking cakes in the display case. They really actually did put some nice detail into these things, and god damn it, now I want cake!
Mm.
I wonder if I can get a...
I'd offer you some, but...
You have cake?
No, but I know a place where I could get some.
I'd offer you some... You have cake and you didn't tell me, you bitch!
God.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, Pinger. This probably will air after you go to bed, but I hope you sleep well, and thank you for coming in.
Yes.
And yes, all the kitties in the background, because there's cats in the cat cafe. I'm so happy about that. Okay.
Gee, I wonder if the host of this stream is a cat person.
Listen. Anyway. I wonder if I can get a slice on my way out. Graves leans down over the balcony of the cafe and raises his voice to the people below. Or to cats, I guess, since cats are the only thing I can see from here. Hayes, will you get us some coffee? Is that the chef? I haven't seen anybody here besides him and Landry. Oh, I already had a cup. Is that going to stop you from another? You can't have enough coffee, especially when Hayes is the one making it. Now, here's the thing. Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Like,
Coffee.
as a neuroscientist, I can actually attest to there being such a thing as too much coffee.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
caffeine, if nothing else. There's also the diuretic component to having too much caffeine. And just in general, like, some people do not take well to taking coffee.
Yeah, I mean, granted, everyone's, drug metabolism is a little different, especially with things like caffeine. Because some people, like, for example, there's some people who, in the morning, are very sluggish to get up, and they need that little additional pep to get up. but it will affect them later on in the day and only make them more tired. Whereas if you are a morning person and are easy to get up, caffeine will only slow you down in the morning, but have more of a, I suppose, rejuvenating effect later on in the day.
Maybe. I'm actually someone who tends to be calmed down by caffeine. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's there are many different factors that go into this. But, Axel, I hate to tell you this, I suppose, but I do love hairless cats, too. I call them Wrinkles, and I find them to be adorable. They are very sweet. They do take a little bit of extra care because without the fur, you actually have to bathe them more often. Otherwise, the oils start kind of accumulating on their skin. And, I mean, that's the thing with cats anyway. They bathe a little bit more easily when they got the fur. Well, you know what, Kat? That's actually not a bad thing either. It's not a bad thing to not drink coffee. It's one of those things...
I'm very much in that category as well.
Yeah. And I can confirm that he's a little bit of a sluggish person first thing in the morning. Not super so, but... Yeah, I can't say that I have ADHD, but I have a lot of sneaking suspicions since that's one of the other things that that happens to me. Drinking caffeine tends to mellow me out and help me to actually sleep a little bit more easily. I have terrible attention. I have the tendency to not just easily get distracted, but to forget things easily. There's a lot of symptoms, and not to mention, I even have genetic predisposition towards it. But of course, self-diagnosis is always one of those tricky things. So,
it's a big psychological no-no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I did love that episode, but that's because that one cat was actual... Well, and that's also, I think, the bias on the part of the creators of the show. They were like, who would buy a hairless cat? Only rich people with nothing better to do or whatever. But no, most hairless cats are actually very sweet-tempered from what I've seen. It depends on how they're handled.
Love to the sphinxes.
Absolutely. I mean, I absolutely do love them. And like I said, they're wrinkles! They're little wrinkles, and you pet them, and you get to see, like, the little wrinkle, like a chill up their spine and stuff like that. And they're so cute! Okay. Anyway, so yes, you can have enough coffee. You can have too much coffee. And it's kind of a bad thing to force on a kid. I don't think I met Hayes. You may have. You might not know it. You might not know yet. Graves folds himself into the slender chair at a corner table. He pushes the opposite chair away with his foot, nudging it just enough to turn it towards me. So I think he's also a tall. Gee, this portrait. I wonder.
I get the sneaky suspicion that some things around here may not necessarily be as they seem.
Well, that's not even what I mean, but it's just, gee, again, unfortunately, it doesn't help that this is totally my type. Anyway, come on, sit down. Let's talk. You don't have to be so stiff. Interviews are boring. Make it interesting for the both of us. No pressure, huh? Graves sits with this sort of grim pomp, like he's sitting in a skull throne and a raven's gonna land on his shoulder at any time. Maybe it's more like he's about to roll a die with a lot of sides. Yeah, that's probably more accurate.
I mean, ¿por qué no los dos?
I bet he's a nerd. I take the seat across from him. Just so you're aware, we aren't starting without coffee. Okay. You can talk, of course. I meant the interview. Okay. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice a tiny slip of a blonde man standing at the balcony entrance. Ah! I jump a little. When did he get here? I didn't hear anybody come up the stairs at all. Is this guy a ghost? Graves looks like the type to hire ghosts. He looks terrified by my shout. I think I scared him more than he scared me, so speaking of types, this was actually the first character I ever actually romanced in this game. I'm sorry, I have a thing with being protective, okay? This comes with the territory of being internet mom.
Type.
Uh-huh. Gingerly, he sets 2 mugs in front of Graves. Thank you, Hayes, but you should give Avery the other mug. He sounds like he's reminding a child to say thank you. Of course. Hayes glances up at me. Our eyes meet for a millisecond before he suddenly finds something very important to focus on downstairs. He pushes the cup towards me without looking back up. Thank you. Graves' ring clacks against the porcelain of the cup as he takes a drink. Perfect as always. I don't know what I did without your coffee. It's nothing special, really. He talks like it's the first time he's spoken today. Quiet and a little hoarse. If that's all, I'll go back to the cats. That's fine. A game about cats. Also, hello. I think Cat Lily? Yes. It's Hustle Cat. It's about a cat cafe. We're just getting started with it. It's still relatively early on. Hayes slips back down the stairs just as quietly as he arrived. Slips, meaning he actually, in fact, slipped, and then is tumbling down the rest of it, screaming quietly to himself. But we're going to ignore that, but that's okay.
Shenanigans.
That kid would make a great ninja.
I mean...
He falls down the stairs. He'd make a great ninja. Just picturing that. I look down at the coffee and see a sleepy cat face staring up at me from the foam. I've only ever seen latte art on the internet before. I love that internet is capitalized. Did Hayes really do this? I take a sip. Oh. Hello. Thank you for following.
Yes.
Anyway, it's not bad if you like coffee, I guess, but it could really use some sugar. Pass on that sugar to me, baby. Okay. There are packets on the table, but I can't bring myself to ruin the foam cat. Now we can get this going. Let's interview. And I'm going to take a second to save. Oh, good, and you can see all of the earlier saves that I've done with this game. May as well, I guess, with that one. So it's that second one down on the left. Okay. Yes, the cats are everywhere!
Yes.
The cats are everywhere! Okay, let's interview. I'll even start you off easy. What's your favorite breed of cat? And this actually is helping to set up early on whom you might end up with by the end. So there's Scottish Fold, which I actually really do love Scottish Folds, but I also know that that technically leads to, like, that happens because...
Problems.
Yeah, well, a lot of breeds of cat tend to lead to that, but in that particular case, it has to do with the reason that you get the folds in the first place is because it ends up sort of loosening the ligaments or something along those lines, the cartilage in the body. So they tend to have a lot of mobility problems later on in life. Siamese, which I am predisposed towards. I've loved Siamese as well as Tonkinese cats. I love just the design, and of course, they're very talkative kitties, very vocal. I'm not sure if there's a dog diner game. There might be, and if there isn't, then hey.
I mean, there's an open market for it.
Maine Coon, which are huge-ass cats. Like, I mean, they are fluffy. They are units. They are designed for the cold, and they are fucking huge. Like, they will get 2 feet long, usually. Like, or not usually, but they will get pretty fucking big. Those cats with the stumpy little tails... what are they called? Manx? Manx cats.
I believe so, yeah.
I don't know. Tabby? Cats that look like...
Me, personally, I'm just partial to gray tabbies. Then again, I'm just old-fashioned.
So, you like Sir Pounce?
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Huh. I do have someone specific in mind, and they have been technically already introduced. Cats that look like they're wearing tuxedos, and my cat. So, generally, I'm not going to give tips for that, not while I'm doing this, but I'm going to pick Maine Coon. I do actually love Maine Coons. Do you know any other language? Or, sorry. Do you know any other languages? How about ciphers? Of course, they've got, like, the Japanese. I can't actually read that. If someone out there can read that, feel free to translate. God, I'm torn between a couple of these. I speak the language of dance.
I mean...
What marine animal would you say best represents you?
In Interesting question.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Orca. What genre of music would you use to describe your work ethic? Now, that's an interesting concept. Genre of music to describe work ethic. Classically hardworking? Chip tunes, children's sing-along, or punk? I'm not dead, just resting. I do love that answer. I'm gonna go with classically hardworking. On a scale from 1 to 10, rate me as an interviewer. I'm gonna put you at about 7.5. You're doing pretty good. You're a little weird. Not the best I've ever had. This fucking question. Draculas or teenaged wolves?
Draculas. You know, the Draculas.
Yes, Draculas, not like vampires or some shit.
Yeah, right up there with the Baron Samdis.
Anyway, I gotta go with teenaged wolves. Just kidding with that last one. Interesting. Good. I like interesting people. He leans forward, appraising me with this terrible smirk on his face. He's like the cat who ate the canary. Maybe I don't want to be interesting by his standards, but it feels kind of flattering nonetheless. Aww. That sounds very sweet, Cat Lily. Dracula's turning into cats. I know that they do shapeshift, like that is a considered trait of the vampires.
Yep.
Thank you. You start tomorrow. Wow, great! Thank you! Don't run off yet. I have paperwork for you. I mean, yes, you generally need paperwork in order to hire someone. Oh, yeah, of course. Graves pushes away from the table, coffee cup in hand. He nabs my saucer, even though I'm not quite finished, and slinks down the stairs. He's like a male version of Monica from Doki Doki. Oh my god.
Jesus. Why did you have to invoke that?
And of course now I'm just picturing this game with Graves as actually sentient. Oh god. Oh, that would be terrible. He returns as if he'd never left, trading the empty coffee cups for a small stack of papers and a pen. He places them in front of me. So, what will my job be? We'll see. Generally speaking, if someone says that, don't, like, get out of there. If someone doesn't actually tell you what job you're hiring onto, like, that's not a good sign. Did he hire me with no position in mind? Is this how this guy usually works? I feel like I'm in a daze. Too much information and too much coffee. I take the papers and skim them, signing pretty much anywhere I see an X and a line. Do not do this. If you're signing anything, legally speaking, you are held accountable for it, which is why you want to read it.
Read the fine print.
It is vitally important, especially in things like job things or anything involving money, because legally speaking, you can get tied up pretty fucking fast.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't take much for them to be able to exploit that and take advantage.
I mean, depending on what kind of cafe you're working for, that could be a literal case.
Yeah. What's it all for, and why is there so much? Well, read it and find out! Probably taxes and stuff, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And who cares? I've got a job. I push the papers back towards Graves, and he eagerly scoops them off the table. Perfect. We open at 11. Be here at 8. We'll have you help... We'll have you help with the morning prep. My displeasure must be pretty apparent, because his mouth cracks into another smirk. You can work a later shift after training. You won't have to deal with those cursed mornings for too long. Okay, that's fine. Now go. I have a lot of work to do before tomorrow. You need to get to... Yes?
That's probably a good rule of thumb, Axel. Don't sign anything from me.
If Griffin hands me anything to sign, I'm going to probably look it over and then, after reading every last detail, throwing it back in his face and saying, fuck you. Okay,
See, I figured you might eat it out of spite.
I'll eat the top sheet out of spite. No, wait. I'll eat the sheet that actually requires me to sign.
Yeah, I was gonna say that probably makes a little more sense.
It's like, oh, okay, I'll put my mark on this. Chew, chew, chew. Anyway. You need to get to work fixing that sleep schedule of yours. Okay. He seems lost in his own world now, poring over the paperwork I just filled out. I guess there's all sorts of tech stuff you have to deal with hiring people. Why would he do it so casually? Well, whatever. Not my problem. It is your problem! It is, in fact, more your problem than his.
Yeah?
I head down the stairs. Landry's back. He looks uncomfortable, waiting at the foot of the balcony, but perks up when he sees me. So? I'll see you tomorrow, coworker. Oh, congratulations! You can meet everybody else tomorrow morning. I'll make sure they're all ready for a meeting when you get in. How many people work here? Well, there's me, Graves, of course. You met Hayes, Finley, Mason, Reese. That's it. It shouldn't take too long to get to know them. Okay, great. I'll see you all tomorrow then. Great. See you. See ya. See ya. Wahoo! I'm gonna live it up a little. Wow, I almost misread that in a really bad way. I'm gonna paint.
I ask?
Well, let's just replace the L with a T, or the first one.
Jesus.
The first L with a T. Anyway, I'm gonna paint this town red. I finally have a job. Oh, and here's the intro. Date night. Actually, I probably can't show that because it's a song.
Well.
And the stream might get a little finicky about that. But I do recommend the game. It's actually not terribly expensive. I think it's roughly around $20 on average. And it'll occasionally go on sale. But I am sorry for skipping the intro. I will say that if I do actually ever do a full Let's Play of this, which will showcase all of the different paths, I will probably show it then. But I do actually recommend not only picking up this game for yourself, but just, you know, like playing through it and possibly either watching playthroughs. It is a kawaii intro. It's super kawaii.
Yes.
Full of a couple spoilers even. But again, I wish I could show it, but being that this is a live stream, I should probably not do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, picking up with Avery again. I got lost and I didn't end up painting anything, but it was a nice walk. As I head home, I get this distinct feeling of being followed. I didn't really know that that was a thing that actually happens, but it's hard not to notice when you see some movement out of the corner of your eye. I turn around. A sleek black cat stands in the middle of the road. It sits down when we make eye contact and thumps its tail testily against the pavement. It's got different colored eyes. I guess heterochromia really is pretty common in cats, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Should I, like, try to bring it to the cafe? They take care of strays there, after all. I should try. I crouch down as slowly as I can and reach my hand out towards the cat, beckoning to it. This might work, if you're lucky. I make those little smoochy noises that seem to work on some cats, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Aw. Garrus is on top of my computer, and he actually perked up at that. This one doesn't seem terribly impressed. It pins its ears back, and it looks away, still for a moment, before standing up and slinking into an alley. Yeah, that's a very cat thing to do. I guess I should just leave this to the professionals. Yeah? No, they're cats, Axel. It's time to celebrate. I'm gonna wreck this pizza I grabbed from Pizza Lloyd's on the way, and now I want pizza. Fuck.
Oh, damn.
Fuck! I want all of the things that we're seeing. I want pie. I want cake. I want pizza.
Hashtag let Lorelai eat.
I picked up a can of wet cat food for Mochi from the corner store, too. I mean, if you're gonna treat yourself, you may as well treat the cat. I figure we both deserve a celebration. Mochi, get your fat lump out here. I have good news. No answer or indication he's even in the same room. You know, he never even asks how my day was. I know how to do this. I walk over to his food bowl and crack the lid of the wet food. In a flash, he's at my feet, tail shaking like a rotor behind him. Do I want wet cat food too? Can't say that's usually my flavor, but come here, you big moron. I give him a little scratch behind the ears before I dump half the can into his bowl, and the feeding frenzy begins. He acts like I never feed him. Whatever, I'm about to go do the same to this pizza. After a quick jaunt to free myself from the shackles of non-pajama clothing mood, I flop back down on the couch, dinner in hand, laptop in my face. Oh, it looks like there's a new Jelly Donut video. It's a video of her sleeping in a donut box. I love that dumb internet cat. She's always doing something ridiculous. I wonder how her owner gets her to do those tricks. That flooring seems familiar. Where are these filmed? I spent the rest of the evening picking through the video archives. I could feel myself sinking into the bread dough couch cushions. Not good. Meow. It's so early. What's his problem? Meow. I bet he just wants the other half of that wet food. This is why I don't get it for him that often. I excavate myself from the couch and do what I can to mitigate the bedhead situation I have going on. What time is it anyway? I grab my phone to check. 7:40? Aw, hell! I'm gonna be late for my first day of work!
Ah, hell nah!
Ah, hell no! Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, we're pretty white. Anyway, I do like the writing in this game. It's very relatable. And it reminds me a little bit of the style in Dream Daddy, too. Anyway, I take the world's fastest shower, but there's no time to dry my hair. I'll have to hope I run fast enough that the wind resistance will do the job for me. No time to sort through my duffel. I'm just gonna have to throw on whatever looks cleanest. It's not like Graves said anything about a dress code, so whatever. You generally don't want to do this. I mean, cleanest is good, but you want to have actually clean clothes. Especially for work. Mochi trails me closely, howling more and more insistently along the way. It's like he doesn't care about my punctuality at all. Well, he did wake you up.
Yeah.
No time to mix the wet food the way he likes it. I dump a scoop of kibble into the bowl on my way out the door. I haven't seen a cat look so offended since the one that watched me mess up coffee. They both can just deal with it.
I mean,
I can't
again, that's pretty much the exact mood of any legit cat owner.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm almost late to my first day of work. And my first job, even! What a great first impression to leave. Thanks for hiring me, Avery the Flake! I start out in a full sprint to the cafe, but it's only about a 10-minute walk, so it looks like it might not be as bad as I thought. If I run, I can make it in less time. Doop, 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 doop. Here it is, a cat's paw. I got a good look at it when I was here yesterday, but it feels totally different when it's your workplace, you know? It's kind of nice to think about. Hey, Avery! Landry peeks his head out from the doorframe and waves me in. I'm surprised by how many people are standing around. Grace, Landry, and Hayes are there, but so are a few others I've never seen. Got a good look at the party here. I only see a few cats right now, but they seem utterly disinterested in everything we're doing. They're all piled in a sleep cluster by the window. Oh my god, I love sleep clusters of cats. I love them. Okay. I feel a little embarrassed that I'm so disheveled, but I'd rather be on time with wet hair than late and looking perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I mean, you could always, dry your hair off with the inside of your hoodie.
Are we speaking from experience again?
You know I'm speaking from experience. You've been there.
I watched you do it, yes.
Yes.
Multiple times even, specifically to make sure that we could get the hair just right.
Listen.
Just right for recording. because it's vitally important that you have just the right amount of absolute bedhead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, people will know more about that later on.
People will know more about that later on, he says.
Spoilers.
Yes, cat clusters are the cat version of puppy piles. Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. Good. You decided to challenge the morning sun after all. Now that the star is here, we can start this show. Still as weird as yesterday, I see. Got another sucker, boss? That's esteemed co-worker to you, Reese. You just keep collecting these strays. Before we get too far, everybody should introduce themselves to Avery. Avery, we've already met, and you already know Graves. Did you meet Hayes yesterday? Briefly. Hello, Hayes. Hello. Okay, again, you guys are gonna have to bear with me with voice acting this many characters. I'm sorry.
Again, I would help, but with the delay being as egregious as it is on my end, I am not well equipped to assist in that regard.
Right. All right, Axel, thank you for joining. I appreciate your company as I was playing through this, and I hope I wish you the best of luck with cleaning up the room. I hope you have a good evening. Or whatever time of day it is for you. I hope you have a good one.
Yes.
He looks like he's going to try to slip between the cracks in the tile. How does a guy like this handle a job that deals with people? Hayes is a great barista. He's a great help in the kitchen, but he likes to spend a lot of his time with the cats, too. Hayes flashes me a quick look. The side of his mouth upturns ever so slightly, like he's trying to smile, but he's out of practice. I reach out to shake his hand. He's practically bracing for impact. Before I reach him, a bright light flashes in the corner of my vision. What? Is that a camera? Oh, sorry, sweetie. I thought I turned the flash off. I whip my head to the other side of the lineup. The girl on the end is aiming her phone directly at me. Sorry, don't mind me. I just want to commemorate our new employee. I'm Finley, and I take care of social media. I like candids, so I'll try again later when you've forgotten about it.
Thanks, I hate it.
Come on, this is, I think, probably the closest thing to an analog of me in this game.
No, but you know me, I hate social media in general.
And you also hate candids.
Yes, exactly.
As we experienced while I was out there.
the number of fucking fucking pictures she tried to take while I wasn't looking. Like, thankfully I was able to sabotage all of them.
I still even love, like, the one instance where I started to actually take a selfie in revenge, and you swung the fuck around and you knocked over that glass bottle, all that you could get your eye in camera, and of course just the look on my face of disappointment.
Oh, God.
This motherfucker. Okay, anyway. Finley is also... Grace, I know what you're going to say! Don't ruin the surprise! Grace lets out the soft bark of a laugh. All right. You tell Avery whenever you're ready. Thank you! The two in the middle of the lineup look beyond unimpressed. One is the smart-mouthed guy, Reese? And the other looks like someone I wouldn't want to mess with. Finley puts her hand on the shoulder of the tough-looking woman standing next to her. Since she's not going to introduce herself, this is Mason. She's our head chef. Or our only chef, I guess. Well, nice to meet you both. Yeah. Finley reaches up and places her hand against the back of Mason's head. She pushes her hand forward, forcing Mason to nod. I'm amazed Mason is putting up with this. Wow, that's the most you've spoken all day. She likes you already, Avery. Mason makes a quick little noise that could either be a laugh or a grunt. Maybe it was both. How kind of you all to save the best for last. I'm Reese, and I'm the one you'll be answering to after Grace, so you better stay on my good side. I love Mason too, yes.
Yes.
I would have sworn Landry was second in command here, so I don't know what this kid's talking about. I didn't even see him at all during the interview yesterday. I'm on cat detail today, but don't think that means I won't be keeping an eye on you. Cat detail must mean taking care of the cats, obviously. I'm learning quickly. I don't know why the second in command would be so eager about telling me he's gonna clean litter boxes today. Maybe it's a weird status thing here. Ew. I'll be on my best behavior then, I guess. Good. Sorry. Good. Voice acting. Okay, that should be everybody then. Avery, you'll be training with me today. I hope that's okay. That's fine with me. It looks like I'm no longer needed. I have other work to do. You know where to find me. Grace slinks to the back of the cafe. I think I can hear footsteps on creaky stairs. Mason and Hayes disappear after him. Avery, did you have breakfast? We're gonna have something to eat before work if you'd like to join us. It's tradition. That sounds great. I fed my cat, but I forgot to feed myself. Reese has already seated himself at the long booth, seating along the wall.
I can't get over Reese's color scheme. He looks like goddamn Jet Jaguar.
He scoots two of the tables together and Landry pulls over another chair. Great. Just sit and relax. Mason's just finishing up breakfast. I move to take a seat, but Finley blocks my path. Avery? Before you sit down, I have a question for you. Sure, what's up? Okay, is that... Her voice drops, almost conspiratorially. She leans in to whisper. That's an IKEA shirt, isn't it? He's my favorite, too. A what? IKEA? From Blast Zone?
Mm-hmm.
From what? I could've just said because I love it.
Uh-huh, and here we find the otaku.
We find out why this is probably actually an analog for me.
There always has to be one otaku in these games.
Look, you don't have to play dumb. I get it. No, I really have no idea what that is. Is that like a show? Is this shirt from something? Oh, no. Never mind. Don't worry about it. You know, I'm gonna be nice. But now you've got my interest. What is Blast Zone? I don't know if it would be your type of game, after all. Oh, it's a game! I like games. Try me. Well... It's a story about men's passions clashing in a life-or-death struggle. Sounds dangerous. Oh, it is! But it's also romantic! Romantic? Like, love blooming on the battlefield? That type of thing? Yeah, I think you do get it! Maybe I'll lend it to you sometime.
So Fire Emblem.
If you prove yourself worthy. I'm not really sure what that involves, but sure. Okay. She gives me a grin and a wink, then takes a seat at the table next to Reese. I noticed that somebody set the table while I was talking to Finley. Possibly Reese, or maybe Landry. Maybe both. Mason and Hayes should be out in a minute, Avery. Come sit down. Sure. Where should I sit, though? What if there's some unspoken rules about this sort of thing and placing? You never know with new groups. Landry answers the conundrum for me by beckoning to the seat between him and Finley. Quietly, I take the seat. Mason emerges from the back with a large tray balanced atop each hand. I love Mason. Look at this, the fucking apron and the hat, and you can't see it yet, but everyone else can. Mason, one tray has a giant stack of French toast, god damn it. The other is some kind of egg... thing. I'm not sure, but it looks amazing. Whoa. I had no idea how hungry I was until just now. Well, you and me both, kiddo.
Yeah.
She sets the trays down in front of us and then returns to the kitchen. I hope she gets back soon because I'm about to be on that egg thing like Mochi on wet food. Mason returns a few moments later, cradling 6 empty coffee cups in her arms. Hayes follows in tow, carefully balancing a carafe full of coffee. I can words!
Hunger.
I will slap you.
Well, you'll do that anyway.
I will, but I will that it'll be another excuse to go fly out there just so I can arrive and slap you in the fucking face.
Again, was that not already the plan?
At some point, yes, again. I didn't really hit you enough while I was out there. Quite frankly, you hit me far more. Okay, to contextualize that.
Shit, I hate you. We high-fived and your hand broke.
Yes.
Like, I'm not even joking all that much. I high-fived her, like, the first day she was there, and her hand turned full red. The next day, I opted to try and spare her some of that pain, and I fist-bumped her. Her knuckles cracked. Like, sometime afterwards, she reached for an empty plastic bottle to hit me, and her elbow popped. Like, she could not kick my ass without kicking her own first.
I am completely ineffectual except unless it's my back. But I don't think that I can beat you with my back.
That's the thing. Like, you're like so fragile everywhere else, but you got a fucking tortoise shell back.
I'm a former Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I would not be surprised at this point.
Oh, God. But yes, no, I am a delicate Disney Princess Flower type. And it doesn't take much to actually do damage to me, which is why it's perfectly acceptable for me to slap the fuck out of Griffin.
Well, again, you say that, but I don't think you would be able to do so without taking a visit to the hospital.
I'll just Midoriya it and just, like, do damage to myself and then win the day anyway. Somehow.
Did you just?
Did I just?
Oh, God.
I believe I did. Midoriya Shonen! Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. They take the cups and carafe on the table, or They set the cups and carafe on the table. I hate you. And take their seats. Hayes' butt barely hits the chair before the others start to dig in. I'm a little afraid that I'll lose my hand in the fray if I try to jump in now, but I'm so hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Landry reaches out an arm from behind a fortress of French toast slices. He lightly bats at Reese's hand as it reaches for the syrup pitcher. Save some for Avery. Jeez, calm down. You're the one stealing all the food. I haven't taken any more than usual. Breakfast is important. While everybody shouts and chatters across the table, I help myself to a bit of everything. I'm not used to eating a real breakfast, especially one that didn't come out of a microwave, so I'm gonna savor this. I know that feel. I love breakfast stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely. Like a good continental breakfast, like eggs, potatoes, maybe like chicken fried steak, sausage, bacon.
We got to enjoy, oh my god, while I was out there, I got to enjoy this wonderful omelet that had like avocado and bacon in it. And literally on the menu, it didn't even list, like everything else had a description. All this had was like literally bacon and avocado omelet. And I was like, that's all you really need to sell it to me, to be quite honest.
Enough said.
Exactly. Anyway. Wow, this is amazing. Mason, what is this egg thing? Mason's eyebrow shoots up. She looks at me like I grew another nose. Frittata. Is that like a souffle? It looks like it'd be really hard to make. Just eggs and vegetables in a pan. Still, I don't know how I'd be able to make anything like that. It's really nice to have a real breakfast. What do you usually eat, Avery? Mostly cold pizza or toaster tarts, I guess, if I remember to get them.
And mom mode activated.
Yep. Mason glares like I just knocked her plate on the floor. She stares directly at me, through me, with a hard look in her eyes. You eat here now.
There you go.
Always.
Mason, his best mom.
Yep. You eat here now. Always. Can I still have pizza sometimes? Not for breakfast. Ever. Ever.
I love Mason.
I can hear Finley and Reese snickering. Okay, but other times are still okay, right? Mason rolls her eyes and goes back to her coffee. Reese stares up at me in between bites of French toast. Avery, when we're done, we need to talk about dress code. Oh, Reese, don't start this again. Shh, it's an important part of new employee orientation.
Oh, God.
Landry passes a positively pained look at Reese. He glances at me, but a poke to the ribs from Finley sends him staring back at his plate. Landry, you're such a mama bird sometimes. Lighten up. Avery, look at this place. We take our visual presentation very seriously here.
Mm-hmm.
Mason gives another grunt. Hayes places his empty plate and cup on Mason's plate and takes a stack into the back with the urgency of a tactical retreat. Graves and I expect a certain level of decor with the waitstaff. Is this about my outfit? I woke up a little late, so... No, this is about uniforms, which everyone else is clearly wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Mason pushes her chair away from the table with enough force that it wobbles briefly on two legs. She stands and takes my plate in one fell swoop. Opening soon. Time to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
She picks up the now empty cast iron skillet with one hand and balances a few of the other plates on top. Okay, cast iron skillet, by the way.
I was about to say.
That is a heavy piece of shit, and if she's lifting it with one hand...
Uh-huh.
Damn, and she's like... with one hand, and then she's putting other stuff on top of it.
Yeah, and I'm also gonna say, if you want a fucking cooking implement that retains its fucking flavor, like with every dish it makes.
Oh, yeah. That looks heavy, but she's holding it all like it's nothing. Come on. She stares me down, and gestures to the back door with a head nod before she heads into the kitchen. Don't think you can run off so easily, Avery. You'll get written up if you don't have your uniform. Just briefly saving.
It's better safe than sorry.
So, there are a couple of different options. You can help Mason and Hayes in the kitchen, or you can ask Reese about the uniforms. The, uniform thing is interesting in itself. But he's absolutely a total hypocrite, because as you may have noticed, no one here is exactly wearing a uniform, and they weren't yesterday either.
Again, Jet Jaguar here isn't exactly dressed to the nines. In his Sunday best.
Alright, so let's ask Reese about the uniforms. He seems pretty serious about this. Maybe I shouldn't blow him off just because he looks so young. Maybe he's secretly as old as Graves or something. Uniforms? But nobody else is wearing any uniforms. They just haven't changed yet, or they don't need them. Only the waitstaff wear uniforms, and you'll be waiting tables with Landry today. Yeah, but Landry doesn't have a uniform. Reese glances over his shoulder towards Landry, who has made himself busy straightening up the tables in the dining area. He doesn't appear to have heard either of us, or he's just ignoring us. That's because we don't have a uniform in his size. Yet, at least. Someday he won't have an excuse anymore. Come on, Avery. I bet you look cute in the uniform. I can't help but feeling a bit itchy about this. Reese rummages around in a drawer by the back door and pulls out some kind of black, orange, and white lace thing.
God.
That can't be it, right? This looks like it should be your size. Now, come on. He dumps the pile of lace and fabric in my hands and then pushes me towards what I assume is the bathroom. I pause in front of the door and give Reese a baleful look. Ah, come on, at least try it. And just gonna save real quick. I mean, this is worth... Let's humor him, at the very least. Alarm bells are going off in my head, but what's the harm? I'll look a little silly. Hell, I might even end up looking cute. All right, just give me a second. Good answer. He seems pleased, but I'm a little irked that smug sense of victory he's oozing. I close the bathroom door behind me and lay out the uniform. Yikes. This is even worse than I thought. Well, too late to turn back now. I put the uniform on. At least I think I've put it on properly. I can't tell if these bows are supposed to go in the back or in the front or in the back. I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror and then decide it's better not to make eye contact with my reflection. I crack open the door and am met with Reese and Finley's eager faces.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Finley holds up her phone.
Of course.
The flash doesn't go off this time. I told you I'd get it candid. I do actually like this uniform, but dear lord.
God.
This is absolutely Graves' style, though. I can't wait for it to catch up for you.
Yeah. Probably gonna take a bit.
You look so regal. Really, I can't believe you'd fall for such an obvious prank. Yep, you got me. Come over and take a look, Landry. Reese turns to beckon Landry, who quickly mumbles an excuse to himself and disappears upstairs.
Uh-huh. Good call.
It's a pity neither of you were here when Landry wore it. He was bursting out of the thing. It looked absolutely ridiculous. I think it's cute! I'd wear that uniform. I know you would. That's why I can't trust you. Where did this even come from? Reese's lip curls in disgust. Graves. He should stick to interior design and never step into fashion again. He tried to get me to wear that, you know. I told him he could keep this Halloween fever dream.
God.
If Graves designed it, I'm surprised it doesn't have a hooded cloak and a raven or something. Ha! Don't let him hear you say that. He might make some additions.
Oh God, it finally loaded for me.
I think the less we mention this thing, the better.
Fucking Puss in Boots ass uniform.
You're required to wear that today, by the way. Nope. Just for a little bit. Nope. Aw, I think you should. I close the bathroom door behind me. I can't get that uniform off fast enough. Let's see. Trying to remember. Oh, that's a log. I guess this would be... So, load, maybe. I forget which one actually appeals to Landry more.
Hmm.
Yeah. Loading, loading. La 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 la, loading.
Loading.
Keep that stream flowing. Anyway. Oh, come on, at least try it. I see what you're up to. Okay, now I know he's messing with me. Nobody outside of 19th century England has worn something like this, and I'm pretty sure they hadn't yet invented an orange that ugly. What is this, some kind of hazing thing? I'll pass. Aw, come on. It's a cat's paw tradition. I've always considered myself a mold breaker. Let it go on the record that Avery hates fun. He's like a kid who just had his toy taken away. What a brat.
Is that not him?
Yeah. Even Finley looks disappointed. I gently drape the uniform over his shoulder, but he moves his head before I have the chance to wrap the big orange ribbon around his head. That's such an ugly outfit. Has anybody actually worn it when you foisted it on them? Foisted nothing! I want to wear it every day! They won't let me. You should have seen Landry in it. He practically busted the seams. I glance behind me to see what Landry is doing. I have no idea how he would have gotten this uniform on in the first place. He must have heard his name because he hurries up to the second floor. Reese was too scared to ask Mason to do it. I was not. You were! You mentioned a dress code and then she stared icicles into you and you stopped. It just wasn't relevant. How about you, Reese? Of course not. And a little blushy boy. Really? This looks like it's about your size. No! Graves had it made. I had nothing to do with this.
Uh-huh.
You started before any of us, so we wouldn't know. No! I bet you looked like a little prince. I'm leaving. I have to get ready for cat detail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Your Highness. Leaving! Reese storms off. He disappears around the corner that leads to the kitchen. Finley gives me a light punch on the shoulder and a sly grin. I bet if you talk to Grace, he might have a picture of Reese in that uniform. Nah, I'm good. Aw, spoil sport. Well, I better get to work, too. Good luck on your first day. I'll be by to document your progress for the blog later. Finley gives me a little wave, then follows Reese to the back. God, my voice is starting to give out on me. I'm voicing too many people!
I mean, we also have been streaming for a bit.
Well, yeah, about an hour and change. Well, hour and a half, roughly. Blah.
Yes. Hydration. It's important, kids.
Turns out that drinking is also very important for when you're doing things like,
Living.
talking. And also living. I love how on my end it's the same time.
Yeah.
I guess I should find where Landry ran off to. He's training to me today, after all. I think he went upstairs. Yes, he did. I head over to the foot of the staircase, but a cat has taken station right in my path. It's sleeping belly up, stretched out to nearly the whole width of the step. Anyone who has lived with a cat and has stairs in their house knows this. Buddy, that's really cute, but that's a dangerous place to sleep. It doesn't dignify me with a response. Instead, the fat orange cat shimmies in place to settle itself even more. Gently, I nudge it to see if I can get the cat to move. Someone's gonna trip on you if you don't move. That's not gonna be fun for either of you. It opens one eye to a thin slit, then makes a murmuring noise and flicks its tail. This little tiger isn't going anywhere, is it? Are all the cats here this spoiled? Guess I'll have to pick it up and move it myself. I lean over to scoop it up, but as I do, a tiny orange and white bob-tailed cat whizzes past my feet. It stops on the step below the sleeping cat, raises one paw, and bats the other cat squarely on the forehead. The sleeping cat wakes up and hops to its feet. It looks angry. Am I going to have to break up a cat fight? Hey, you two. The bobtail flattens its ears and stares intently at the orange cat. They both perk up when they hear a voice from above. Ah, is Hash Brown sleeping on the stairs again? Hash Browns, it's a perfect name!
God.
The orange cat, Hash Browns I guess, trots away. Landry works his way down the stairs, eyes on the bobtail kitten. Was it really necessary to smack him? You should be nice. The bobtail turns its head away in a wide arc, almost as if it's giving it an okay, whatever kind of response.
You're not my dad.
You're not my dad. It lazily struts over the windowsill and takes up sentry. That cat's name is Hash Browns? Yeah. Graves names all the cats here. He comes up with some interesting ones. What are some of their names? Well, at the moment there's Ramona, Shunsuke, Kotik, Owl, Bramblepelts, Now, Hisa, Valentine, Marina, Ein, Junta, Jam Band, and so on. Holy crap. Which one was that bobtail? Oh. His face falls. Why does he look so nervous? That's... Oh, why don't you ask Reese later? Huh. Is that his cat? Did he name it or something? Is it a bad name? At least it's probably not named after H.P. Lovecraft's cat.
God. I mean, yeah, that's probably for the best. Don't look that up, kids.
Yeah. Or, I mean, look it up to educate yourself, perhaps, but just bear in mind...
Preferably in a incognito window.
Possibly. No, he's... Grace should have told you about... Let's get to work. It's time to open. Landry isn't having any more of this. He walks past me to the front door without a glance. He unlocks it, flips the sign from closed to open. And ta-da! Your first day at a cat's paw has begun. And nobody's here. This is a little anticlimactic. Yeah. The mornings are usually pretty slow. It might pick up later. It didn't. I literally love this. That's not a spoiler. The game literally fucking says it.
It's a self-spoiler.
You can't When that happens, it's called foreshadowing. At all. all day. Sure, a few people came in, and Landry had me wait their tables while he supervised. It went pretty well, and I made a couple bucks in tips, but that was it. Finley came down a couple of times to check in, and I saw Mason and Hayes every time I went into the kitchen, but I didn't see Reese at all. Reese's bobtailed cat, on the other hand, was all over the place. I think I see why he'd take a shine to this one. They're both complete hams. Not that I mind that it was slow. It just meant I got to play with the cats more. There are like 10 of them here? Maybe? I can't get a solid count on them. They seem to vanish sometimes. Looks like there are a lot of areas around here for them to hide. So, I love how Finley pops up, but Landry is the one talking.
I mean...
Thank you for your help today, Avery. Landry, Finley, and I just finished wiping down the tables. Mason was gone before the cafe closed. I don't know where Hayes went. So, how'd you like it? Is it always this quiet? I mean, not that I'm complaining. Not always. Tomorrow should be busier for sure. I've got plans. Oh, we should get here early then, huh? Don't say that like you aren't always early. Oh, I have to come in earlier? Don't worry too much about it, Avery. Just show up at your regular time. Okay, thanks. I can't imagine what busy means here. What, like 6 people in here at the same time? I've got a little more work I want to do on the blog, so you all go ahead. I'll close up if Graves doesn't get here to do it. Graves doesn't get here to do it. Oh, thank you. Avery, you head on. You can head out. Thanks. Are you leaving now? I could walk with you. I'll be out in a bit. You go on ahead. Oh, all right. See you all tomorrow. Night! Which got, like, triple quotes for some reason. The door closes behind me with a jingle. I have a job. My coworkers are pretty cute. They actually pretty are. I do like all of them. I get to play with cats. And if this works out, I should be able to afford a place of my own soon. Wait until my parents hear about this. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I can't help but giving a little celebratory fist pump. All right! I think I just heard someone snort a laugh behind me. I thought I said that pretty quietly. I turn around to see who it is, but there's nobody there but a cat. Actually, 2 cats, actually. Cats from the cafe. Oh dear, if they've gotten out. Reese's cat and the Siamese cat, to be precise. Crap! How did they get outside? Did I let them out when I left? This is real bad. I'm pretty sure that one of the first rules of working at a cat cafe is do not lose the cats.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with an aquarium. You don't take the fish home with you.
They're not looking at me anymore. Now's my chance. I start creeping towards both cats. If I move too suddenly, I might spook them. I only make it a few steps before I see the bobtail's ears swivel back to face me. Without turning the rest of his head, it makes a springing leap and heads down one fork in the road. The Siamese cat continues down the same path, as casual as anything. I can't get them both, but I need to get at least one of them. I better decide who to go after. Well, we already know that Reese's cat belongs there. I mean, the Siamese also doesn't seem particularly... I mean, it might be easier to try and grab the Siamese cat, but let's go grab Reese's cat.
Yeah.
I know he's not supposed to be out here. What a little jerk cat! I take off after the bratty bobtail. Reese's cat suddenly stops, turns around, and plants his haunches on the pavement. He looks up at me with surprisingly bored expression. Oh, come off it, Avery. You can stop tailing me now, unless you were that bent on following me home. The cat is talking.
And so it begins.
Why? Why do you look so surprised? You knew it was me, right? What? What? Come on, my cat self and human self look so similar. They're both equally gorgeous. How did you not put 2 and 2 together? Of course I didn't put 2 and 2 together! Who the hell is gonna think, oh, of course, he is also a cat? That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard. I can't believe I'm even having this conversation right now. I don't know why I expected you to know anything about witches. I mean, look at you. What's that supposed to mean? It means I don't think you know much at all. Fine. Graves obviously did a trash job of explaining this, so all the work is up to me. Again. Everyone at a cat's paw is under a curse. Once we leave the premises, we turn into cats. The curse is likely to tie to the cafe itself, though I don't think anybody else knows how. This is probably the most absurd thing I've ever heard, but it's also sort of hard to deny because a cat is telling it to me. So, everybody? Graves too? Who knows? I've never seen him as a cat, but I haven't seen him do a lot of things. Does that mean... Am I gonna be cursed too? I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I would! How do I end up not cursed? If I knew that, I'd be a lot taller and less furry right now. How do you even get a cat curse? Didn't you hear me? Witches! Believe it or not, this area is full of them. I'd go with the or not, but I can't really come up with any more plausible reasons. This is absurd. I've just had a long day and my brain's leaking out my ears, that's all. I might just be imagining this. Are you done then? I have things to do. What, like chase birds? Cute. Look, if it makes you feel better, we can talk about this more at work tomorrow. With everyone else. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Introduce me to all of the talking cats. Just don't be late again. Hey, I wasn't late today. I get the feeling that if he had the shoulders for it, Reese would be shrugging right now. Instead, he rolls his head to the side. Reese stands back up. He makes a grand leap up a trash can, then again to the fence. Whatever you say. Good night, Avery. With that, he's gone. Good night. You know what? I'm actually going to... What am I doing? So there's one explanation for what the fuck is going on. So I do want to load this, because I think that actually is a different path from what I want to do. That's another reason as to why I do this.
Rotate your saves, kids.
To cheat! Now's my chance. Alright, so... I'm gonna go for the Siamese this time. Follow the Siamese! The bobtail's onto me, clearly, but the Siamese cat hasn't even picked up on it yet. My best chance right now is probably following the Siamese. It's gotten kind of far down the path. I better pick up my pace to catch up. I try to mimic those long strides Landry always takes to cover more ground, but that doesn't work out so well. Jogging's gonna be easier. Or not. My feet are falling harder on the ground and the cat notices. It's going faster now, so I better pick up the pace. I break out in a full run to follow him. He definitely knows I'm there now, but it doesn't matter. I have bigger legs, so I'm gonna catch up sooner or later. I'm a pretty good runner. I finally close the gap between us. Suddenly the cat screeches to a halt and jerks around to face me. Avery, stop it! Eh? Why are you chasing me? Because you got out... Wait, what am I saying? What are you saying? How are you saying? It's me. Me? Hayes. Last I checked, Hayes was a guy with glasses. You didn't seem like the pranking type, Hayes. The Hayes cat is puffing up like a dusting brush. I feel bad this cat's getting caught up in whatever shenanigans they're trying to put me through right now. This seems like it should be against work procedure. He's telling the truth, Avery. The voice comes from behind me. I whirl around to see Landry, but he's not there. Down here. I readjust my gaze downward. Oh, come on. No, this isn't a joke, Avery. Landry cat takes a few steps past me and sits down in front of Hayes cat. Even as a Maine Coon, his gait is long. No, come on. No. Grace didn't tell you. Tell me what? That you're all secret cats? That doesn't make any sense. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm sorry,
Or seen.
Avery. Yeah, I know, right? I'm sorry, Avery. I thought he told you. Is that why you were acting weird? You were keeping something this bonkers a secret? It's not easy to talk about. Whenever we leave the cafe grounds, we turn into cats. I'm surprised to hear Hayes pipe up, of all people. All cats. Cat people? It began around the time that we started to work here. Grace calls it a curse. A curse? A curse? This is too much! Though, I don't know if everyone thinks of it that way. But wait, everyone? Is everybody at the cafe a secret cat? Yes. Grace too? Nobody has seen him as a cat. But it seems safe to assume. Am I gonna turn into a cat too? Landry isn't even looking at me anymore. He's avoiding eye contact as hard as he can. Hayes does the same. Neither answers. I'm gonna turn into a cat? Oh, come on! Sorry, Avery. Maybe you can stop it. We don't know what causes the curse. Maybe if you talk to the others tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Why not? Let's have a whole cat council! We can invite Hash Browns, too! Is he also a person? I can see the fur between Hayes' shoulders rising on end at a little ridge. Seeing that takes the wind out of my sails a little bit. Yeah. Alright. I'm too tired for this. This had better be a weird dream or something. A weird work-induced hallucination. Sorry, Avery. Not listening to talking cats anymore! Bye!
That's the only correct answer.
Really? Alright. The sun's barely gone down, but I'm capital letter done with today. This is too much. Don't forget the good food this time. The canned stuff. Eh? Did someone just say something? There's nobody here but Mochi. Oh, for crap's sake. I find him standing next to the food bowl, looking up at me with those expectant eyes. I gently nudge him with my foot. Did you just say that? Nope. Nope, I'm done. I dump the rest of the canned food into the bowl and scurry out of the kitchen. Then I dump myself into bed. I don't even want to think about it right now. Understandably. I'm just gonna sleep in a real bed for once. Maybe sleeping on that couch is so much as sleeping is messing with my head. I don't usually close the door, but I think it's a good idea tonight. I don't want Mochi whispering to me in my sleep. I say this as my cat starts snoring in the background.
Well, of course.
I mean, I don't think the mic's gonna pick him up, but I just hear him going...
I mean, on top of being the queen of timing, you're also the mother of cats, so it's only logical.
I suppose so. And I think that is quite possibly where I'm going to call it on Hustle Cat for today. This has been a very long day, even regardless of streaming and everything else. And I have the sneaking suspicion that this is as fun as this is for me. Let's see. All right. I think... Sure, you want to go back to the main menu? I did just save.
Yes.
So... This is an interesting look, and now we're getting somewhat into the meat of the story. Quite possibly next week I will pick up where we left off here, or there may be some other game that takes the place. I do try to do things contiguously as best I can, but they're, for example, depending on what guests I'm able to wrangle into joining in, I might have a different game in mind. Like, say, for example, Sims 2 with the Internet family, or... something else. I'm also going to be working on possibly having more streams with me doing art as part of it, because I also need to get to work on art stuff for the channel as well.
Yeah.
But hopefully today has been a relatively chill sort of stream, something relatively enjoyable. Maybe even just listening to the sound of my voice is pleasant enough to justify your company here.
Ooh woo, as the children say.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I see how it is. But anyway, so a far more laid-back stream than some of the other ones that we've been doing. But I appreciate all of you folks who decided to tune in today. I really actually do appreciate it. As you know, as I said at the start of the stream, if you're interested, I will be streaming weekly at roughly the same time, same place, same channel, etc. 5 p.m. Central and 6 p.m. Eastern. That is the plan, and I love how I stumbled over that. Like, what is time? But I'm hoping to be making this a regular thing, regardless of whether it's this game, other games. I've got plans for a couple of other far more active or engaging or popular games, I suppose, as well. I just wanted to take it a little bit easier today, because it's not been a good day for me.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, plus there's nothing wrong with showing a little love to some of the lesser-known titles out there.
absolutely. And like I said before, if you're interested in this game, if the hook that has thus far been portrayed has caught your interest, then maybe check it out yourself. Let me actually see, because I can pull up the Steam. Let us see. Let's go to the store page. I am not endorsed by Steam or HustleCat. It is currently about $20. You can also get the soundtrack for it. But it's actually, it's a pretty good game. It's very well written. I do like the sarcasm. I do like the humor in it. I really love the characterization, because that's the thing that's going to draw you into a visual novel, is the characterization. So, I might even just, quite honestly, leave it there. That's a pretty good point to get people possibly even intrigued into the story, perhaps.
It's a good teaser.
Yes, and I will probably actually be doing a full playthrough on my channel at some point. So, like an actual full playthrough, as opposed to stream playthrough. But in the meantime, I think that I am going to, let's see, kill that and kill that. Okay, I'm going to murder all sorts of things left and right, and that includes Griffin. I'm going to kill you.
Well, you're welcome to try, but I have the sneaking suspicion you only managed to kill yourself in the process.
That's a distinct possibility, but it'll be worth it if I can take you out with me.
Good luck.
You say that, but I could totally do it. I just need a sharp implement.
You say that, but again, the last time you tried, you only hurt yourself.
I didn't hurt myself. My arm popped.
And that was just reaching for the weapon.
Oh, God. Yes, I will find a way to kill you. And you won't know. You won't even suspect. Maybe the whole delicateness was a ruse. Maybe I was trying to fool you all along for when I actually do inevitably get out there to kill you.
You are ninja.
I'm just flashing back to Hayes just falling down the stairs.
Just eating shit.
Well, that's unrelated. Anyway. But this has been a fairly pleasant stream, fairly chill. Hopefully next time we'll be a little bit more active. But thank you guys so much for stopping by today and for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I look forward to seeing you hopefully next week.
Yes.
Yes. And thank you for joining me, Griffin.
Of course. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. All right. Later.
Have a good one, everyone.